Have you ever wondered why some people seem to navigate life's challenges with resilience, forming healthy connections, while others struggle repeatedly with relationships, impulse control, or even destructive behaviors? It's a complex question, and the answers often reach back further than we might imagine, touching upon the very first bonds we form. Today, we're going to explore a powerful scientific concept known as attachment theory, and how it sheds light on the often challenging link between our earliest human connections and later criminal behavior. This isn't about blame, but about understanding the foundations of human development and how that shapes our journey through the world. The journey begins with John Bowlby, a British psychiatrist who, after observing children struggling without stable maternal relationships post-World War II, began to articulate a profound idea. Children are hardwired to form attachments to primary caregivers. This isn't just about food or shelter, it's about survival and deep psychological security. Think of it like a baby bird instinctively knowing to stay close to its mother for warmth and protection. These early bonds, or their disruption, have a ripple effect. His work, later expanded by developmental psychologist Mary Ainsworth, gave us a framework to understand different attachment styles. Ainsworth's famous strange situation procedure helped identify 4 main patterns, which are essentially blueprints for how we learn to relate to others and ourselves. First, there's secure attachment. This develops when caregivers are consistently sensitive, responsive, and available. Imagine a child who knows, without a doubt, that their parent is there for them. These individuals often grow up with healthy relationships, good emotional regulation, and a sense of self-worth. Then we have the insecure attachment styles, which are more complex and linked to negative outcomes. There's anxious-ambivalent or preoccupied attachment. This often comes from inconsistent caregiving, sometimes available, sometimes not. The child learns to amplify their distress signals to get attention, becoming overly dependent or worried in relationships. Next, anxious-avoidant or dismissive attachment. This arises from caregivers who might be cold, unresponsive, or even punitive. To cope, the child learns to suppress their distress, appearing emotionally detached, often because they've learned their needs won't be met. And finally, the style most strongly linked to challenging behaviors, including violence and criminal pathways, disorganized, disoriented attachment. This is typically the result of frightening, chaotic, or highly inconsistent parental behavior. The caregiver, who should be a source of safety, is also a source of fear. This creates an unresolvable conflict for the child, leading to profound difficulties in emotional regulation and understanding others. These early experiences, regardless of the style, become embedded in what Bowlby called internal working models, essentially mental blueprints. These models shape our expectations of ourselves and others in relationships. If your early models are insecure, you might expect others to be unreliable, or you might struggle with intimacy and healthy coping strategies. Now, how does this translate into criminal behavior? Insecure attachment, particularly disorganized attachment, often leads to emotional dysregulation. Think of it like a car without good brakes or a steering wheel. When emotions become overwhelming, anger, fear, frustration, the ability to control impulses is impaired, and reactive aggression can become more likely.
Another vital piece of this puzzle is mentalization, our capacity to understand our own mental states and those of others. When a child experiences neglect or trauma, this ability often doesn't fully develop. It's like being blind to the internal world of feelings and intentions, both your own and others. This failure to understand mental states can foster antisocial behavior because it makes it harder to empathize or predict the consequences of actions on others. Research consistently shows that insecure attachment is overrepresented in offending populations, with poor parental attachment strongly linked to juvenile delinquency. So, why is this topic trending now, you might ask? Well, for a long time, there was a sense of despair in correctional interventions, famously summarized by Robert Martinson's 1974 article, "Nothing Works." But attachment theory provides a renewed framework, offering tangible ways to understand and intervene. It's informing contemporary probation work in the UK, for instance, helping professionals develop strategies to build empathy and improve mood regulation in offenders. Universities like Birmingham are actively researching attachment styles in offenders to refine treatment. Organizations like Kids Company have used attachment theory in practice with troubled youth, focusing on the emotional journey from early neglect to later behavioral issues. This isn't just theory anymore. It's being applied to real people in real situations with the goal of creating positive change. Of course, like any complex human phenomenon, there are important nuances and ongoing debates. It's crucial to remember that while poor attachment is consistently linked to delinquency, it's rarely a single cause. Think of it more as a significant risk factor, interacting with a multitude of biological, social, and environmental influences. It's never a simple case of X causes Y. Some researchers, like Michael Lamb, have questioned whether the strange situation procedure reliably predicts stable attachment, or if other background variables might inflate long-term findings. And there's also debate about the extent of maternal influence versus genetic or broader social factors. But these discussions, rather than invalidating the theory, help us refine our understanding and application. We also know that human development isn't static. While early experiences are profoundly impactful, life circumstances and turning points can absolutely modify criminal trajectories. This offers hope and highlights the importance of intervention at any age. It's about recognizing the starting point, but also acknowledging the potential for growth and change. It's equally vital to apply attachment theory carefully in legal and clinical contexts. Misunderstandings abound. For example, the assumption that children are born attached, or that only one primary caregiver matters. The insights from attachment assessments should primarily guide supportive interventions, not solely determine life-altering decisions like custody. In clinical settings, understanding an offender's attachment history is crucial for effective risk assessment and tailored treatment. The future outlook for attachment theory in understanding and addressing crime is increasingly positive. It offers a vital lens for comprehending the internal world of offenders, especially those involved in violence. By focusing on fundamental human needs, the development of empathy, the ability to regulate emotions, and the capacity for healthy relationships, attachment-based interventions hold immense promise. This understanding moves us beyond simplistic notions of punishment towards more nuanced, therapeutic, and preventative approaches. It's a journey of recognizing the profound impact of our earliest bonds, not to assign blame, but to foster empathy, guide effective interventions, and ultimately build a society where more individuals can thrive with secure, resilient connections.